Today, we'll be discussing the most important political events happening in the U.S. and Europe. From the potential economic warfare between countries to changes in international politics and decisions by governments that may alter the course of history. We'll talk about U.S. tariffs, sanctions, and how new financial measures are affecting social and political relations. We will thoroughly analyze what's happening with the U.S. budget and also look at the economic consequences for Europe. The U.S. is once again threatening to raise tariffs on Chinese goods in an effort to reduce economic dependency and impose stricter trade terms. The Biden administration argues that these measures are necessary to protect national interests and ensure fair competition in the market. The U.S. plans to impose new tariffs on Chinese products worth hundreds of billions of dollars. The tariffs will affect almost every sector of the economy, from electronics to food products. China has already stated that it will respond to any economic measures, which could lead to higher prices on household appliances, cars, and other goods in the U.S. The question arises, will this lead to inflation in the U.S. and economic consequences for consumers? Such measures might also reduce trust from Chinese investors and businesses. This could further escalate tensions between the two countries and increase economic strain. The U.S. is facing the possibility of a government shutdown due to a lack of funding. Republicans and Democrats are unable to agree on the budget for the coming year. This could lead to a halt in federal agency operations and even cuts to social programs. If the U.S. government doesn't take the necessary steps to address the budget crisis, it will impact people across the country. Federal employees might go without pay, and social programs, such as health care for the underprivileged, could be suspended. The decline in economic confidence might lead to a slowdown in business activity, which could, in turn, create additional issues in the stock markets. Europe continues to battle with the migration crisis. In 2025, the number of migrants in the EU has increased by 30%, which threatens the stability of some countries. France, Germany, and Italy are calling on the EU to create common rules on migration, but many countries are strongly opposed. The migration crisis puts significant pressure on the social structures of EU countries. It's not just a strain on infrastructure, but also on healthcare, education, and security. It's also important to note that migration could exacerbate internal political tensions and fuel xenophobia in some countries. The European Union continues to tighten sanctions on Russia amid the ongoing war in Ukraine. The new sanctions target the energy sector, banking, and high-tech products. European leaders believe that economic pressure will help end the conflict and bring about peace. The actions of the EU might have twofold consequences. On one hand, the sanctions isolate Russia economically, but on the other hand, these measures are beginning to affect EU countries as well. Rising energy prices, due to reduced imports of Russian gas and oil, are already leading to economic problems within Europe. The UK continues to adjust to the post-Brexit reality. Despite difficulties, the country is trying to strengthen its role on the international stage by improving relations with former colonies and developing trade agreements. Brexit has shown not only political but also economic consequences. The UK has faced a reduction in trade volumes with the EU and an increase in trade barriers. This makes working in major markets, such as the EU and the US, more challenging. However, despite this, the UK is seeking new opportunities in trade relations with other countries, which could create potential economic benefits if these agreements are successfully implemented. We see that the political situation in the U.S. and Europe continues to evolve. Economic sanctions, international trade, migration, and internal issues are all factors affecting the balance of power in the world. As we can see, modern crises and political decisions made by governments can have long-term consequences for both individual countries and the world as a whole. It's important to continue monitoring these events, as they could shape the future political and economic landscape. Thank you for viewing. With you like and subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date with the latest and hottest news.